Did you know that Coca-Cola and ice cream helped win the hearts and minds of German soldiers in World War II? It sounds crazy, but it's true. This is the story of how America's consumer abundance completely transformed the ideology of German prisoners of war. Imagine being a German soldier in 1943. You've been raised on Nazi propaganda telling you America is a chaotic, decadent nation on the verge of collapse. Then, you're captured and sent across the Atlantic. Your journey starts on a Liberty ship, one of thousands built with astonishing speed. As you sail into an American port like New York or Boston, you see a skyline of skyscrapers and a harbor teeming with ships, a scale of industry that defies everything you've been told. The journey inland by train is another revelation. You see endless fields, thriving towns, and a country untouched by the war that has devastated your homeland. This isn't a nation on its knees. It's a giant just waking up. Then you arrive at a POW camp, probably in a place like Texas, Arizona, or Wisconsin. You expect hardship, maybe starvation. Instead, you're given food. Lots of food. We're talking fresh meat, vegetables, bread, and milk. You get dessert. There are bowls of sugar on the tables, something you haven't seen in years back home. While German civilians were dealing with severe rationing, these POWs were gaining weight. Records show many gained between 15 and 35 pounds during their captivity. They were healthier than they had been in years. This wasn't just about survival. It was the first crack in their ideological armor. How could a country so supposedly weak and disorganized feed its enemies better than their own fatherland could feed its soldiers? And then came the PX, the camp store. This was the real game changer. Here, using the small wages they earned from working on local farms or in factories, prisoners could buy things that were pure luxury back home. The star of the show? Coca-Cola. For just 5 cents a bottle, they could taste this symbol of American life. It was everywhere, a standardized, perfectly refreshing product available even in the most remote camps. This wasn't chaos. This was incredible logistical genius. The PX was a wonderland of consumer goods. There were Hershey's chocolate bars, chewing gum, cigarettes, and lifesavers. Ice cream was served regularly with meals. Think about the psychological impact of this. These men, who had been taught to believe in German superiority and efficiency, were now witnessing an American system that could not only wage a massive two-front war, but also provide its prisoners with an endless supply of treats. Working outside the camps further reinforced this. Prisoners were often sent to work on American farms. They saw firsthand the sheer scale of American agriculture. They operated machinery they'd never seen before, witnessing a level of mechanization that dwarfed German farming. They helped harvest massive fields of corn, pick tons of fruit, and process food in canning factories that seemed to run nonstop. They weren't just told about American abundance. They were an active part of creating it. This experience was far more powerful than any lecture or propaganda film. It was tangible proof of a system that worked. The human element was also crucial. Many Americans, especially in rural areas, showed kindness to the prisoners. They would share their lunch, offer a cold drink on a hot day, or even invite them for a holiday meal. When Thanksgiving and Christmas rolled around, the camps put on special feasts. Prisoners were treated to turkey, stuffing, and all the trimmings. This generosity from the enemy was deeply confusing and moving. It directly contradicted the Nazi narrative of a hateful, cruel America. The official re-education programs run by the U.S. government, which involved lectures on democracy and American history, had a limited effect. The real re-education was happening every day, in the mess halls, at the PX, and on the farms. It was a re-education through the stomach or re-education through abundance. The simple, undeniable reality of American prosperity was the most powerful tool for denazification. It didn't just challenge their political beliefs. It completely dismantled their worldview. The idea of German superiority crumbled when faced with a nation that could mass-produce both tanks and chocolate bars with equal ease. When the war ended and these men returned to a starving, shattered Germany, they were changed. They weren't just healthier physically, they were ideologically transformed. They had seen a different way of life, one built on democratic capitalism and consumer choice. They became some of the biggest advocates for American aid, like the Marshall Plan. They understood that the food and goods flowing into Germany were not a trick, but a genuine expression of the productive power they had witnessed firsthand. These former POWs became the architects of West Germany's Wirtschaftswunder, the economic miracle. They brought back the lessons they learned in America. They championed the creation of supermarkets, replacing the small, specialized shops common in Germany. They helped introduce American products and business practices. They understood that a consumer-oriented economy could be a powerful engine for prosperity and stability. The culture of abundance they experienced in captivity became the blueprint for their country's future. So, the next time you have a Coke or a scoop of ice cream, remember this incredible story. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most effective way to change minds isn't through force or lectures, but through the undeniable appeal of a better life. The quiet, persistent power of American consumer culture did more to win the peace than anyone could have imagined. It turned enemies into admirers and laid the foundation for a new, democratic Germany. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more hidden histories. See you in the next one.